Welcome back to Far Harbor, people. This is John, and we're going to look at some of the settlements that I've found here on the island. I did a little bit of playing off camera and found that actually something a little interesting here. We knew about this one up here, the Dalton Farm. We knew that was going to be a settlement because Kate Dalton told us so, or I think her name was Kate. I don't remember, but whatever her name was, told us it would be. But something I had been seeing on the map, but never just, took the time to explore was this one over here, Old Longfellow's cabin. Remember Old Longfellow's, this NPC guy here who joined us at some point when we were in Far Harbor. It was before I kind of went out to start exploring, and I don't know if that would have been a settlement if he hadn't joined us, but I guess it's supposed to be his, wherever he lived before joining us. So this is also a settlement. So what I'd figure I would do, because I've taken some time to build up these three settlements, they're the only three I've found so far. I figured I'd give you a little bit of a tour of each one, kind of show you the design that I like for settlements. I have another video outlining the design for settlements that I prefer to use, and it's very similar to what you're about to see. So check this out. So I will usually have the welcome mat, which is your magnet for where you fast travel to, close to the workbench, and then close to that I'll have an entrance that goes up. And usually it goes up 2 flights or 2 levels like this. And you can see there's a weapons platform here. And the idea there is that the weapons are not on the ground. So if there's an enemy attacking with melee weapons, they can't get to them. So they just get torn up by the defenses before they can get there. And then I'll use a recruitment beacon to transfer the electricity from up top where my generators are. Let's go up top and I'll show you. Whoops. Try it this way. So I put my generators up here so that they're also not subject to being attacked or destroyed. They're still subject to it from long distance weapons, and the enemies do in fact target your energy. So I suppose I could move them back here just so that they're not as easy to hit. And in many cases on my other settlements, I have the generators in between these prefab shacks. And I use prefab shacks because I have a little system of how to place beds in them. Each one contains anywhere from 10 to 12 beds, so you can get as many as 20 or 24 settlers. And if you run out of space on the bottom floor, you can put 2 more on the top floor in here. Sometimes more. Just depends what you need, But I've never had a settlement with more than about 20 settlers. And I found that using these is the easiest way to do it. It's kind of a modular approach. And I found that using these floors, usually 5 across and 7 this other way, works to fit 2 shacks with enough space to put the generators in between them. So, I mean, really what I'm looking for is to add enough space to include everything that I want there. And I'm just noticing there's a little building over there. I don't know what that is. I haven't been there yet. Obviously, as you can see, it's faded out on my little HUD there in the bottom. So, but anyway, let's go over to the farm and see what's there. Let me just see if I have... I kind of lost track of where I left my power armor. Oh, it's on the map. My power armor is here at Longfellows. Oh, that's right. I remember now where I put it. Okay. So we're going to go here to the Dalton Farm, and I'll show you that settlement next. Okay, so this is another thing I wanted to mention. There's my settlement built up just like in the other place. I will position my crops in a place where if they're being attacked, the weapons have a clear shot at the attackers. And the same goes for my water supply. In this case, I just built water pumps because I didn't want to bother with putting another, bit of energy to run a desalinization or water purifying thing. So I just put them out here, and as you can see, if anybody wants to attack them, they're going to have to deal with half a dozen, heavy laser turrets, or I think I might. I used to use the missile turrets a lot, but then I found that it was hard to find the bodies to loot them later because they get blown to pieces. So I use these now. Sometimes, if you're lucky, the laser turret will leave a pile of glowing ashes, so it's easy to find the remains of someone that got blasted by one. But here's what I was going to mention. I thought I placed the base here. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I forgot to. Because I was going to say how this one was always dumping me off out there where I just came from. But maybe I didn't place the base yet. I swear I did. Oh, and by the way, just in case you're wondering, the base is found in... I'm trying to remember now. I think it's under resources. Miscellaneous resources. Yeah. Here it is. There's your home base or fast travel target. And I'm sorry, I guess I didn't place one yet. But there it is now.
I'd still like to talk, Captain. It's important, at least to me.
He wants to talk to me? That's important. Well, let's see what he wants.
What's so important?
At my age, any chance to make a new friend is, well, it ain't something I'd expect to happen much.
I thought we already did this.
There's more to it than that, though. Long time ago, when I was a young man, I had a sweetheart. Anna was her name. And we planned to get married and raise a family and all that. Well,
yeah, sure, I have
we had
heard
a
this.
place out in the fog we used to meet so we could be alone. Damn children of Adam jumped us. They took her and left me for dead. Took 2 months to recover from my injuries. By then, it was too late. They'd warped her mind and turned her into their ways. It was only later I learned she was carrying our child. Of course, the baby didn't stand a chance with all that radiation. Adam's will, she called it. Anyway, she died a few years later. Trappers got her. Or so them lunatics said. I guess that was Adam's will, too.
I didn't know. I'm so sorry, Longfellow.
Yeah. Well, we all got our scars, right? Truth is, what happened to Hannah was her choice, and so be it. But I never got to be a father, and that's what I regret. If I had a son or daughter, well, I'd have someone to pass on all my learning to. But you're the first person I've met that's worth teaching what I've got to teach. I ain't good with telling people that I'm grateful. But you've given this old hunter a sense of purpose. And a reason for living. That's something I ain't had for a long time.
You know what's funny is I thought he was going to suggest that maybe we should have a baby together, and I had some bad news for him. Anyway, so he wants to teach me something. This is cool. I wonder what kind of perk I'll get from this.
Thanks, Longfellow. It means a lot to me that you think so.
Well, that was all I had to say. I appreciate you hearing me out.
And there I was. I thought he was going to criticize my outfit. Because I look pretty ridiculous, don't I? With those sunglasses and the hat. Okay, so we got the Hunter's Wisdom perk. Don't know what that does. Let's try to find out. I think it'll be in here somewhere. That's not it. Oh, here we go. Perks. Got a lot of perks, jeez. Hunter's Wisdom. Thanks to your relationship, blah, blah, blah. Damage resistance and energy resistance of animals and sea creatures is reduced. Okay, well, whatever. Better than not having it, I guess. But, you know, at this point, I'm such a badass, I don't even need any of these perks. So, back to our tour of the settlement here. In this case, because there's a elevation feature here, I had to go up a few levels because I still wanted to include my entrance to the structure near the workbench. I always do that, and I try to enclose it too. It's just I don't know if it actually does any good, you know, in terms of protecting stuff, but it just is something that I always do. In this case, I used the first level to have a weapons bench and an armor bench. And then this next level is some sleeping quarters. And I'll show you why in a minute. And because the top level, which still has the energy, and it still has one shack, but I didn't have enough space. And I didn't want to build more out this direction, because I'd already done all my other building down here. And I'm 4 levels deep or high because I wanted to have enough space where these would not be at the ground level. And you can see in this case I did use heavy laser turrets all the way around. And then of course my standard build for my shack in here. This accommodates 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then the added down. Oh, and by the way, just so you can see, I always use the beacon to transmit the power, because it's a power line too, or you know, a pole. So it gets the wire up out of the way. That doesn't really matter. The wire could be down here, and you would just walk right through it. I just for design sake, I like to have it up out of the way, so I wouldn't be clotheslining myself every time I walk past it. But I added these beds down here just to have a little bit of extra. And you can see what I do. I put 2 on each square. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 more. So we have a capacity of 20 settlers here. Easily I could have 24 just by adding a couple here and a couple to the shack up top. So there's the farm. Probably should... Oh, I didn't realize these things have... Okay, never mind. I thought the horn was another eye when I was looking at it from this way. Like this, it kind of looked like another eye, didn't it? Anyway, so let's travel over to the Longfellows and take a look at what we have going on there. Okay. So, I guess I haven't placed my... fast travel thing here either yet. God, I swear I did, but yeah, I guess I didn't. Oh, there's always time to do it now. Okay, so while I'm doing this, I'll talk a little bit about this. Oh, no, I have placed it. You know, I'm sure I didn't place it out here. Wherever that was. Why would I have done that?
The fog's poison on account of
Yeah,
the
there's
children
nothing.
of Adam.
Anyway, this is also another sort of standard build. But in this case, we have the shack that was already here. So when I first opened this settlement, I just built an extra bed for myself here. And also, it had this structure back here, this little extra shack, this one. And I believe this was already here. I don't remember if the power armor station was there. But this is where I decided to store my power armor, just because it was kind of convenient. It's close to Far Harbor. If you look out across the bay here, that's Far Harbor where all those lights are. So you could swim across or whatever. And this is actually a pretty big settlement too. Thing is, the size of the settlements doesn't really matter for me, because this design where you have the weapon platform and then the living quarters up top, it doesn't really need anything else. I mean, other than settlers, right? Because
My kids ain't gonna believe the stories about you.
yeah, because there's nothing really else to put there. You know, I mean, I've seen these videos where people do a huge build and, you know, they're making it look like a hotel and stuff, and they have all these mods, and which is fine. I think that's pretty cool, but that's just not how I perceive the settlements function in this game. I just perceive it as a place to get more resources, you know, because you can assign your settlers to do stuff, and like if you have a scrap station, and they'll produce stuff for you, and they kind of scavenge the area anyway. So that's kind of what I use my settlements for. And the design is usually something like that. Okay, I was showing you. You can see my beacon is attached to the top. Again, I guess I'll go up there real quick and show you. But the beacon is attached to the energy coming from the top, like usual. Again, this is all enclosed like usual. Got an empty level because it would interfere with the roof, or the roof would interfere with it. Got the weapons platform, and there's our power. There's a shack. I've only built one so far here because I only have a few settlers. And there's the beacon, giving the energy to the weapons platform level. So there you have it. That's a little tour of my settlements here on Far Harbor. I'll be back with our next episode where we will complete another quest. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. I really appreciate that. And I will talk to you next time. Thanks for watching.